Hello and welcome to a 2v2 cast. It's going to be a 2v2 from the most recent monthly Rumble Team tournament, number 34. It's a game that I missed live during the day as there's quite a few games going on at the early stages. So this is going to be one of the earlier rounds between Qwest and Kurminog versus Shroom and Piano. So starting off, Qwest going to be a Chaos Lord here, stomping his way down at the bottom side of the map, going to be up against Shroom in this particular side. See the Lictor already going for that Chaos Lord. And to round up the blue team, we're going to have Kurminog, who's going to be playing as Lord General. We do see quite a few tier 2 and tier 3 rushes from him, tends to go for a lights tier 1, so we'll see if he decides to go for that in this particular game. And to round off this game, we're going to have Piano also playing as the name Alice in this particular game, as a Plague Champion on the top side of the map. I believe Piano was playing as random. I'm not sure if he actually went and picked the Plague Champion, but I'll confirm that in the description of the video. I'll also include a link to the brackets as well, and towards the tournament thread if you want to find out a bit more information about the players and what happened on the day. There's a stream to be uploaded, which will get uploaded at some point soon. But a lot of damage on these CSMs already, Lord General and the Sentinel in a flanking position, meaning that these CSMs are not benefiting from any cover whatsoever, but we do have a second CSM squad here. This is Qwest CSM squad, which is going to be helping out Kurminog here. And already one Heretic squad will be forced away. Play Champion is going to be forced away momentarily. These Guardsmen only losing a single model in that engagement, so pretty good here for Kurminog to lose a single IG model. You know, that Lictor onto the back line here, we do see a model picked off. I believe the Flash Hook has already been used. The Chaos Lord was getting poked down by the Lictor out there. The Chaos Lord has made his way over towards the Imperial guard player Kurminog. Sentinel going for an very aggressive stomp. These Tyranids without their Toxic Sacs upgrade, meaning that they're not doing too much damage there, and we do see the Sergeant getting pulled in by the Lictor. Guardsman squad is going to retreat when, as the Sergeant is a die last model, if you pull in the Sergeant, you will kill the other models and severely damage the squad there. So damage is shared out amongst the other models, so something to keep in mind when playing the Lictor Alpha, or any commander that can target a single target like that. Others would probably be the Chaos Lord with the Drain Life ability, and also the Farseer with the Mind War ability. Meanwhile, the Chaos Lord, at least the Heal Weak did miss earlier, has still just about got enough health, trying to go for that Lictor there with 1 HP, is going to fall down there to the Combi Flamer Bolter, or to the Combi Bolter, not the Combi Flame Bolter, sorry, to the Storm Bolter the Chaos Lord does carry, as is the default weapon. Play Champion is going to take cover behind some green. There is a CSM squad on the way, so DC Sentinel coming in to tear down that cover, also coming in for a stomp as well, just to reduce the amount of damage that the Lord General will take, trying to secure that point, but there is some Nurgle worship to bring him back up to full HP. Does take a while on a single target, like the Play Champion, but will eventually help him out there. CSM are going to take cover there, and Piano is out in the open, so does need to be a little bit careful. You see him falling back towards some green cover there. Some Heretics from Qwest on the way, some Guardsmen coming in to repair that Sentinel. In fact, there's triple repair available for the Sentinel should the Heretics also decide to help out. Sparring Champion on the Heretics, and Raptors are going to enter the fray. The Sentinel is still half HP, but too much repair support and too many other units to focus down before focusing down that Sentinel. We do see the CSM are the big focus here, but these Heretics are going to get right on top of the CSM. We do see Heretics coming in response, but they're just so low at the moment. We could see a squad wipe, although the Heretics there for Qwest do back away in time. Raptor is going to avoid the knockback on the Sentinel. We do have a Blight Grenade purchase. Blight Grenades are difficult to manage, difficult to throw against Imperial Guard there. Play Champion, a very slow commander, and the Imperial Guard remaining at range for the majority of the time. That Sentinel though is low, does not have stomp available, did use it earlier, so it's going to fall to those Raptors. The Chainsaws will be enough to finish it off when it is that low. Meanwhile, Lord General and CSM remain on the field. Lord General is going to lose a few rescue models. I don't think he'll be able to kill a CSM model here, and I think he may end up losing another rescue model. He'll be able to make it out there alive. Raptors can try and go in for an additional jump, but I don't think they'll have enough damage to finish him off. 75 HP. 1 HP will be finished off there by the Bolt Pistol. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, we do see some Ravelers game purchased here for Shroom. Chaos Lord does need to be a little bit careful, and Kurminog still have only 2 Guardsmen on the field. Did lose that Sentinel earlier, but we should see the Chaos Lord make his way over to get a res. He's going to go for Castogen, so he's going to go for his super light tier 1 build. There's been quite a few games where we've seen Kurminog in particular throughout these 2v2 tournaments where he does try and stick with just the 2 Guardsmen and the Sentinel, and will try and go for a fast tier 2, even sometimes going for a fast tier 3 and just getting the Lehman Russ drop from the Lord General, or just even purchasing a Lehman Russ if he doesn't have sufficient red to get it called in. can sometimes work out quite well, but going for a light tier 1 does leave you vulnerable to being power bashed due to a stronger tier 1. You see Qwest trying to gain a little bit of ground here. Meanwhile, Piano on the other side has Raptors onto the field, doesn't want to jump in just yet with Castions. And also the Chaos Lord getting a res on that Lord General. For some reason Lord General is red. That would be the Stalk ability from the Lictor, the global ability to spot where the commanders are currently. With that the Lictor spinning around like mental there. Did see a commander go down, I'm sure. Or did see 30 red coming in from something. Oh, it was Lictor Alpha that did go down. Hard to see with all the Tyranid bodies there in the surrounding area, but the Blade Champion should be able to go over and get some assistance. Chaos Lord is going to come in, these Raptors not quite wanting to commit, he's going to get knocked over by the Shotgun Blast. Killed is going to catch out those Heretics as they run in a bit too eagerly. We do have a Blight Grenade available for the Blade Champion still, so he's going to try and position himself behind his green cover. He's going to try and throw it down, he's going to catch out these Castions, and will it spread? The Guardsmen are going to walk away from them, not wanting to get infected by the Blight Poison, and the Chaos Lord is solo, but I don't think he's going to go down. The Heretics will be forced away at the last second. CSM are going to fall back behind some green cover. You know, on the other side, we do have some thermal guns. They are getting incredibly low. In fact, the squad may go down, but the Toxin Sacks, the Crippling Poison, coming in at the last second, is going to allow the squad to get away with a single member. However, the other squad is going to be forced off in the end as the Crippling Poison wears off. And Tier 2 has been started now. All players are Tier 2, are teching up to Tier 2. And we do see that the first purchase here for a Piano is going to be some Plague Marines. Anticipating that Chimera is going to be the next port of call for Kurminog, which we do see game purchase now. These Plague Marines will allow, well, will help force it off the field, will allow some decent damage to it, and potentially kill it if Kurminog is not too careful. Plague Champions, or Plague Marines, sorry, don't do too much damage to vehicles. It does take about 3 to 4 shots, probably about 4 shots, especially over Guardsman Repair, or Guardsman Repair maybe even 5. Meanwhile, Castion's going to place down an IED here. There is some detection for a Piano, so should be able to spot that unless he goes in without those Heretics. However, the Castion's on the field, always anticipate that there will be IEDs placed down. Especially if you see the Castions come in with low energy, you know that they've been using that energy elsewhere, and there's only one thing that they're going to be using it on, which is going to be IEDs, unless of course you're in the middle of a battle. With the grouping of Chaos and Tyranids here, Ravenor's going to try and chase in a bit further. Any units not retreating, going to get knocked over. Lord General is now forced into retreat. We do see Marker Corn CSM game purchased here. We should see some Plasma Gun upgrades for these Guardsmen. You have the Commissar upgrade for one squad. In fact, both squads actually have the Commissar upgrade. So Plasma Guns for one. Plasma Guns should come in for the other one. And here is the Chimera. Castions are ready to go. They can use their Shotgun Blast once again against these CSM. Will be avoided. You have the Blood Maw for the Chaos Lord here, which will be in response to the massive amount of melee, although these Templegons are getting a little bit caught out here and are going to get knocked over by the massive smashing power of that wall. A few models are going to fall down. We do have a Venom Brood drop that came in, but instantly retreated away there by Shroom. Plague Marines are going to enter the field here. Guards will need to begin repairing this immediately. Raptors was going to jump in as well. They do have a Blood Maw, which does do heavy melee damage. Can try and get rear armor hit, but going to be unsuccessful in doing so. The Chaos Lord with Killed Weak going to knock over 3 models. The Aspiring Champion just falls down instantly. Raptors forced to jump out of there. If they had retreated away, they would have just died in that engagement. Good thing that they were level 2 and had enough energy for a second jump. A Blight Grenade is going to be huge here. Going to catch out the entire army without infecting Red Team. Blue Team's army is completely infected as of now. These Heretics do need to be careful about going in too close, otherwise they will also receive the same poison debuff. Does damage over time. You see the Lictor back on the field there, is trying to feed from that Lord General, but is going to be unsuccessful in killing him. Plague Marines down to a single model, 100 HP. They do have a lot of health regen, and it does help out a lot on retreat. Very difficult to actually kill and ranged. And overall, that fight looked like it was going quite well for Red Team. But overall, Blue Team are going to come out on top. The Blight Grenade poison was not enough to turn the tide of the battle. Meanwhile, Qwest, we've not seen any Tier 2 units from him as of yet, just some Tier 2 upgrades. Not sure if he spent his requisition or power on anything else for now. We do see the CSM here. No further upgrades other than the Aspiring Champion, and Eternal War does provide a 20% damage boost. The Aspiring Champion also provides the Slaughter ability, allowing you to switch to chainswords and bolt pistols, allowing your CSM to be a bit more effective in melee combat. or even in range combat as well. But the aspiring champion here for Piano has been repurchased with the remaining models that did die in previously. No further upgrades on the play champion yet. Is level 4 though, so doing quite well. Should see the armor repetitions upgrade come in soon when Piano does actually have enough resources to get that. Aspiring champion is going to get pulled in here. Ravener's also going to unburrow, going to knock back CSM squad even further, although they decide not to do so. Are going to go in for the guardsmen instead. These Homogons are getting torn to shreds trying to approach them. But are going to be able to reinforce in the field. Do you see pheromones has been placed down by the Lictor, does allow units to reinforce, also reduces the incoming damage by 30% in this little area. Making Tyranid is incredibly effective in this very small area. Homogons though surely are going to get forced off momentarily. They are reinforcing 2 at a time. Thanks to that tier 2 upgrade, Venom Brood are going to be the focus here. Raveners so low. All the Tyranid models are just going to get forced off here in the end. As Shroom is facing 2 players by himself. We do have a power bash in retaliation. However, all the melee units are kind of grouped up on this single power generator. There's only so much surface area that power generator has. Only so much that you can get us around on it. Heretic should focus down another one while the CSM and the Raptors targets a different one. We do see the units starting to spread out here a little bit. Lord General has got a Melter gun equipped. Castian Sergeant also has a Melter gun equipped. Raptors are going to lead the charge in. The Blood Crusher and CSM will follow them up. There are med packs available which have just been used. I do apologise for leaving my phone on loud in the middle of that. But the Blood Crusher here should do quite a lot of work. Raptors should be able to finish off this Castian squad actually. They're staying there a little bit too long. The weapons team has been purchased in retaliation to the Blood Crusher on the field. Those Plasma Guardsmen going to not really be able to do too much. Coming into the fight a little bit too late. Lord General, in fact, will go down. There's just so much melee damage on retreat. Raptors should easily finish this off. 20 HP. And that Blood Maul going to get that nice sync kill there. Just pops him down onto the ground. Killed weak. Going to catch out so many models here for the Gale Lord, but fighting an entire army alone, still going to be unsuccessful and trying to remain in the fight any longer. Level 2 Lictor Alpha. I don't know if Lictor Alpha had died once again, but is still in the field. So we do see the entire generator farm has been bashed. A shrine is going to get purchased just outside the base. Going to be a very difficult position for Kurminog to actually push against. Qwest is tier 3. First place to do so. You don't normally see Chaos go for tier 3 so early on. We do see a creeping barrage is going to pull away the heretics from the shrine, preventing any worship. Prevent units from reinforcing them, also slow down the heal rate. That Chimera is so low, but it's not going to go down. But the Venom Brood coming in for a flank, gain some rear armor hits. Will be successful in getting it. The Venom Brood can leave this fight now after getting what they needed. Meanwhile, all the power has been taken, so Kurminog, not going to see him go tier 3 for quite some time. You know, another Blight Grenade onto the Imperial Guard army, however, was getting used on Heavy Weapons team, which were not close. And Terminators have been called in here for a quest. And with that, we are going to see Piano leave the area. These Terminators do see the debuff going down, must have killed one of the Heretic models here. Terminators will debuff units upon each kill and will reduce their damage, so you don't want to let them bleed your army too hard. Terminators is very effective against Plague Marines, since Plague Marines are just regular infantry. We should see an autocannon upgrade for these Terminators as well. Qwest may decide to go for Lightning Claws, given that Piano has gone for a very heavy melee build. Now it looks like blue team are going to stabilize here, but without any power at all. We do see Kurminog going to go tier 3, but doesn't have the red nor the resources to get a Lehman Russ out on the field. Could try and go for a different unit such as Karskins, but probably won't do too well against this army composition. A Lehman would be quite nice in this particular situation. Should see power gain repurchase. At least one generator farm should go up, just to provide them with some power income. You see Raptors are going to go into Tyranid army again. A little bit caught out there. A suppression lands on all squads, and wow, the Armoring Inferno. Let the Galaxy burn on top of the entire armor. Do you see it falling back a bit? Pheromones was placed down on the ground to reduce the incoming damage and does allow these units to reinforce as they are close by. We do see Chaos is now approaching the mid as well. Looks like they want to fight 2v2. However, I'm not sure if Kurminog and Qwest's army is quite up for a big fight like this. It is a bit smaller in comparison, however, Terminators can make a massive difference. Lord General, though, is keen to fight. We do see the Melter gun upgrade getting used. Does provide an additional 30% attack speed. We do have a Noxious Cloud, though, right on top of these Guardsmen. On the other side of the map, Terminator is going to be forced to fight the Blood Crusher. Chaos Lord is also taking quite a lot of damage here. As some units try and get right on top of these Terminators, power melee is going to be incredibly effective. The Guardsmen have been forced off. The Lord General is trying to run away as best he can. Kurminog has nothing on the field for now, so Qwest is by himself. Meanwhile, we do have a Lictor Alpha on the back lines. Terminators are going to go for a defensive teleport away. CSM and Raptors are still walking away, not retreating as of yet today. The CSM are bound to lose a model or two here. That one model just on the back, getting really caught out. Crippling poison onto these Raptors. They have enough energy to jump, but instead will retreat away back to base. Meanwhile, Raveners are going to chase all the way to the base there of Kurminog. Do have a card effects on the way for Shroom. Card effects is going to be very difficult for blue team to deal with, so one more reason is try and get a Lehman Russ out as soon as possible to try and chase that down. Meanwhile, for Qwest, doesn't quite have the resources for anything else in tier 3 as of yet, but could get an autocannon. I believe an autocannon is about 70 to 80 power in tier 3. An autocannon won't really counter a card effects too well, but will counter a massive blobbing army. In fact, it's actually going to go for Lightning Claw upgrade here. I was very keen to get these Terminators into combat then. Well, Lightning Claws, they do a tremendous amount of damage and will probably hard counter the majority of Piano's army. Does mean that you have to use your Terminators very aggressively and will rely on Khorne Worship to get them in and out of the fights. As a response from Piano, given that he is the play champion, we should see the Pestilent Strike ability, which does come from the Plague Fist. It does stun units for a decent amount of time. I think it's about 4 seconds. That 4 seconds can definitely make a big difference against the army. Guardsmen are going to break retreat there to try and fight these Raptors. A bit further back, we do have a Blight Grenade getting used against Chaos Army. Not as effective against that army, but still effects nonetheless. And these Raptors here for Qwest, maybe not the best jump in there to help out your allies. It actually spreads the poison towards these Guardsmen. Luckily, won't do too much damage, but definitely need to be careful of that. Be aware that you can spread poison to your allies. Carnifexes are now joined the field. No upgrades for it as of yet, so Shroom does have plenty of resources to get the upgrades down. It looks like Heretics are about to fall down, so no Khorne Worship to get these Terminators to safety. And we do have the Plague Fist on the Plague Champion. We do see that Pestilent Strike getting used, but those Terminators have now lived throughout that stun duration. Any issue with the Pestilent Strike as well, as much as it does stun the Terminators in place, also reduces the incoming range damage in that area by 90%, so you do need a melee army to try and fight alongside of it. The Carnifex is here. The Carnifex is desperately trying to get towards these Terminators. Crippling poison. These Terminators have already used their teleport to get out there. I'm not sure if the squad will be able to make it out there. Definitely going to lose a few models. The Plague Champion will fall down, but so will the Chaos Lord. And I think that's more beneficial towards the red team. There should be a easy res here for the Lictor Alpha. He's still quite healthy. Raveners are going to use their enhanced muscle core there to try and chase down these Terminators. And wow, 2 Lehman Russes have joined the field at pretty much the same time here. These Lehman Russes are going to allow these Terminators to live. 2,200 HP. We'll need to remain in base for quite a bit of time to get back up to full HP. So the other thing we do see Kurminog likes to do when he does get tier 3 and does get these Lehmans, does prefer to go for the Executioner Cannon, or the Vanquisher Cannon, sorry, the long range cannon, which does high single target damage, but only does single target damage and doesn't do any splash damage. So we should see those upgrades for the Lehmans come in as soon as he can afford them. That tends to be his playstyle, so whether he'll go for that in this game, we don't know. But it should be quite good to get this chasing off this Carnifex. This Carnifex has already been brought down to 850 HP. We do see the Venom Cannon upgrade to try and fight off these Lehmans, but these Lehmans are going to be back up to full HP fairly soon. In fact, it is going to go for one Executioner here. May see the other one go for the Vanquisher Cannon instead. The Executioner, though, splash damage is going to be really great against this blob. However, it does suffer from a lack of damage to vehicles. The last cannon is also still in the field as well, so the Carnifex will need to be careful. Heretics are going to try and worship there for some reason. We actually have a second Executioner on the way. Qwest has got a Predator, so I wonder if Qwest is going to go for the Mark of Tzeentch upgrade to try and fight that Carnifex, or if we'll go for a Mark of Khorne just to be more effective against all targets in general. But 3 tanks on the field very quickly entering the field for Blue Team. Blue Team are ahead in VPs as well, 238 to 164, and both teams very static in the center, not really wanting to commit too hard to capping the entire map. Looks like Qwest is going to send out this Predator without any upgrades. Mark Corn upgrade does provide an additional 75% damage to the Predator overall, so definitely something to grab as soon as possible. Home going for the Mark of Siege, just provide yourself with some better anti-vehicle damage. We actually have Melter Raptors, something you don't see too often, but do throw the Melter Bomb and do land it onto the Chaos Predator. But Lightning Claw Terminators are on top of those Plague Marines, and the Raptors getting chased away there by the Chaos Lord. And the issue with these Raptors is that they are so short range and do lose any sort of melee damage that they would have had previously. These double Lemurs though are trying to kite away as best as possible. It's very difficult to try and control 2 vehicles at the same time. It's going to be a a repair bunker. Don't have to rely on the Guardsmen to get any repairs down. However, the Venom Brood do need to get focused down. They are damaging the bunker quickly. Don't think the Lehman can get there in time. They can kill one model on splash damage though. That's a lot of damage. The Venom Brood may go down 54 HP, but these Executioners don't have the longest of range. Meanwhile, Guardsmen are getting chased by Raveners on the other side. Plague Champion will fall down. The Predator has lived here for a quest. You know, the Lictor is still in the field here. The Lord General is currently down on the ground, but the Chaos Lord is going to get in for an easy res. And one of the Carnifexes did fall throughout that engagement. We do have the second Carnifex here, but it's going to get forced off. We do actually have the other Carnifex coming back in, so I'm not sure actually if the first one did go back to base. In fact, this is the first one, this is the second one because it's not shown on the GUI. Yeah, looks like the Carnifexes are both alive, so Piano is going to go for a Predator of his own. Should be a Mark of Siege Predator, try and chase down some of these tanks, make it more effective, and here is the Mark Corn upgrade. And another bunker is going to go down. This is likely to be another repair bunker, as there are 3 vehicles on the map. Having a repair bunker means that your Guardsmen are free to continue firing away as per normal, rather than having to focus on too many repairs. And last cannon is going to get set up here, maybe should set up in a slightly different position. It's a bit of an awkward position since there is this huge shot blocker right in front of them. Does limit the arc of fire. Meanwhile, I've got some Raveners still burrowed into the ground here, disguising themselves as tiles. So no Heretics on the field, or in fact Heretics are currently in base at the moment here for a Piano. Should try and get over here to try and get some worship on this Blood Crusher. Although the Blood Crusher is probably not that useful given that there are 3 tanks on the field, it can be incredibly disruptive with its melee charge. Carnifex does need to be a little bit careful here, and both players are going to tussle up once again. This line of tanks here for Blue Team is incredibly scary to try and approach. The Blood Crusher is just going to enter the field there. I'm not too sure about that decision. I don't know if Piano wanted to get rid of the Blood Crusher intentionally, but we do have a big push coming in. Raveners are going to unburrow onto that heavy weapons team. But the double Executioner and let the Galaxy burn all infantry. Going to really struggle to go in, although this is a lovely nuke here. Catching out one Guardsman squad, they will fall down. Trying to retreat through that heavy melee damage is always a bit of a mistake and always a bit of a risk. Meanwhile, the heavy weapons team is also going to fall down. Lictor going to try and walk over there. Going to let the Unnames finish off himself, but some damage from other units will be able to. The 2 Demons managed to make it out there, 60 HP, 171 HP. Meanwhile, the Predator is going to carry on falling back. It looks like the Carnifexes are going to be a bit concerned about chasing even further. However, this Predator does need a bit of assistance. Mark 1 Predator should be able to win against the Markers each one. It is so low right now. 1 HP. It might even just fall to falls to the heavy bolsters on the side, but the other Predator will also fall at the same time. Meanwhile, the Lictor and Heretics going to get knocked away there by that Chaos Lord. The double Bioplasma and bring that CSM squad down to half HP. These Carnifexes should be okay in melee against these Terminators. They've only got power melee damage, and power melee doesn't do too much against vehicles. It does some, but Carnifexes can definitely tank against it. Slaughter is also going to get used there. That Lictor Alpha does need to be a little bit careful, remaining in the fight for a bit long. It does have Feeder Tendrils, so it is trying to heal with every attack, but that's a lot of range damage coming in from these Slaughter CSM. Also have some anti-vehicle damage here. This Carnifex may end up going down. We do have home guns on the way to try and save it, but not in time. You know what, the Lemans are healthy enough to actually try and rejoin this engagement. Homogons will potentially fall down. Terminators though still doing a lot of work. We do see the enhanced muscle core there to try and stun these Chaos Terminators, but it's not going to stun them for long. We do actually have a second set of Terminators here for Qwest. That is a very scary army. CSM are going to fall. The power melee is immense. You know, the Carnifex is forced to try and force melee here against the Lord General, but there is a Leman approaching. One of the other Lemans did fall down, so it's just the one Leman on the field, and this Execution Leman doesn't do too well against vehicles. However, these Terminators with the default Power Fist should be enough to force off this Venom Cannon Carnifex, at the very least. We do actually have some other Terminators here as well, this time for a piano, more Lightning Claw Terminators. Lightning Claw Terminators are much healthier here for a piano, might be able to wipe Qwest's Lightning Claw Terminators down to just 350 HP. Leman Russ will also need to be careful about the splash damage as it will hurt allied units as well. One set of Terminators are going to fall down. These Power Fist Terminators are not going to be able to stand a chance against these Lightning Claw Terminators, but Leman Russ is going to make it a very quick fight as the splash damage is affecting both squads. One member is going to fall, and these cost 50 power to reinforce each. You definitely don't want to lose too many of them. Not sure about Piano chasing in this far, but he is going to carry on going even further. Plague Marines going to slowly advance towards this bunker. They can try and capture it for themselves, but do need to be careful as the bunker falls. All infantry inside will also die. You know, these Terminators desperately trying to run away. It looks like the Venom Cannons are just going to tear down the bunker instead of trying to enter the bunker themselves. I suppose there's no vehicles on the map, so no real reason for Red Team to try and go for that, as it is a bit of a riskier play. Terminators are going to be able to make it out there with a single model. Touch of Nurgle on these Terminators. That's a lot of healing to be done. One model does fall. You can try and ground target with Leman Russell, but it's a bit hard to try and do as it's so many small bursts that you'd have to ground target each one individually, as it does reduce damage when trying to chase away enemy units. But the VP is 44 to 122 here. Red Team, with a double cap at the moment, are going to try and equalize the VP bleed. And we do have a Baneblade here for Kurminog. Enjoying his tanks in tier 3, the Baneblade enters the field, but there is another Carnifex on the field already. And it is going to be a Thornback variant, so I can try and get into the face of this Baneblade. Can also spawn Rippers from the Carnifex, which can slow it down with every bite. So we'll see if this Carnifex can make it work. Now for Piano, we do actually have a Mark of Tzeentch Havoc squad, which we didn't have earlier. Qwest has also decided to go for an additional Predator, straight away upgraded with the Mark of Horn upgrade as well, and another Leman Russ can get dropped in for a Kurminog. So 2 Lemans, a Baneblade and a Predator. That's a lot of vehicles in tier 3. There's some Heretics down on the left hand side. Some small engagements going to occur with Plague Marines going down to the right hand side. Try and get a sneak cap while the engagement is ongoing. Terminators need to be careful, they will get a few kills. We'll start demoralizing these guardsmen. You know, these 2 Carnifexes are going to start to chase with the Venom Brood, but I don't think it's going to be enough to try and kill this Chaos Predator. There's a lot of stuff to try and get through to try and reach that tank. Meanwhile, these triple Lemans on the right hand side are just tearing everything up on them. You see Terminators are going to reinforce the field thanks to that Shrine of Nurgle. The Lord General is going to fall, going to leave the VP neutral. Plague Marines are actually going to get the decap that they need and will be able to secure the VP, but Qwest is coming in with his Terminators and they are fairly healthy. Only a single model remains for a Piano. Are going to teleport away to safety. The Mark of Tzeentch CSM also going to fall back as the Guardsmen are focusing down throughout the engagement. Tyrannoformation on top of these CSM. A couple models will fall, but these Venom Cannon Carnifexes are just no good against infantry. In fact, the squad may die. Where is the other model? The other model getting knocked away towards safety. But these Lightning Claw Terminators are just tearing everything up here. Qwest should be able to finish off Piano's squad. One model will go down as it fights valiantly to try and stay alive. Another model will die. The Venom Cannon is actually effective against super heavy infantry, as the Terminators are large models. You actually have a decent amount of accuracy against them. But against most infantry, generally not the best choice. So have a Noxious Clouds trying to help these Plague Marines. Heavy melee damage there. On top of that, the Commander is going to be enough. Plague Marines are desperately trying to get the cap. The Noxious Cloud runs out before the Guardsmen will get wiped. That Lord General though is so low, but so these Plague Marines, they're desperate to get the capture here. Going to be unsuccessful in doing so, and Piano will lose a squad, but in center of the map, they are able to secure it. That's going to be a 2-to-1 cap. With with 15 VPs remaining. Blue team will need to make a massive push. There is a single Terminator here for Qwest. Can try and go in for the VP. Not sure if it's going to be able to do so. Carnifexes are getting a little bit low. They are trying to force down that main blade, but 2 VPs is going to go down. And it looks like red team are going to be able to pull a comeback in this game. We're down to 44 VPs for quite some time. And we're up against so many tanks on the blue side. I think there was 4 Leman Russes in total, a Baneblade, 2 Predators. And that was just for the blue side. On the red side we did have, I think, 3 or 4 Carnifexes and 1 Predator there for a piano. And losing his entire army there at the very end just to try and get the cap as desperately as possible. Red team are going to come out on top. And with this, that's going to be the end of the game, but there are going to be some more games uploaded soon. I will upload the stream that occurred of the 2v2 tournament. It will take some time to upload since it's quite a lot of footage, and YouTube takes quite a while to process through that, as there were a few complaints before of it's not being in HD quality in some regions, even though it was in other regions, so we'll give that a bit more time. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.